Hey everyone, welcome to Science-Based Fitness. My name's Adam. Thanks for checking out the channel. What we have in store for you today are 3 tips on how you can optimize strength gains in your own workouts. What we're going to do is a breakdown of 3 different studies, and at the end of that, we're going to show you a few strategies on how you can implement these tips into your own workouts. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about here is volume. And in this case, volume we're referring to as the total number of sets being performed. What's the appropriate number of sets you should perform when trying to increase strength? Well, for that answer, we're going to turn to a meta-analysis by Greg Nuckols titled, "How much does training volume affect the rate of strength gains?" Now, what was being measured here was the total number of sets being performed in a week on a single exercise. This meta-analysis reviewed 9 studies. It categorized everyone into 3 separate groups based on the total number of sets performed. The groups were as followed: less than 5 sets a week, 5 to 9 sets a week, and greater than 10 sets a week. The inclusion criteria to this meta-analysis is sourced in the description. Feel free to read it. Now, what were the findings? Well, when it came to strength gains, the analysis stated the following. The effect sizes for higher weekly volumes were roughly 20 to 25% larger than the effect sizes for lower weekly volumes, which means 20 to 25% faster strength gains. So what does this mean? Each group ended up gaining strength, but we saw the largest strength gains from the group doing 10 or more sets per week. So implementing this seems pretty straightforward. We increase the number of sets until we hit 10 a week. Now, this is referring to major muscles, and I also want to note, if you're new to training, don't just jump right into 10 sets. Start out a little bit slower and ramp your way up. Before I became a personal trainer or even had an idea on how to lift correctly, I was always taught and was under the idea that the best philosophy for gaining strength the fastest was lifting heavy. Is this the best strategy? And is this the best method to use to actually gain strength? And we find that answer in the form of another meta-analysis. When measuring 1 rep max strength, 14 studies were able to show the average strength increase of 35.3% for high load groups and a 28% for low load groups. So yes, you can get stronger lifting with lighter loads, but the largest gain of strength is seen in heavier workloads. High load percentages were considered greater than or equal to 60% of the 1 rep max, while low loads groups were considered less than 60% of a 1 rep max. Key points to the study were that high load training leads to significant increases in 1 rep max strengths versus lower loads. Training to failure is such a controversial topic. There's so many different opinions on if you should stop with 2 reps in reserve or should you push till you can't do another rep. So what I wanted to do is a quick breakdown on what strategy is going to help when you're trying to maximize your strength gains.
I found a study that shed some light on this topic and I thought was pretty thorough. Now, I will admit it does get a little confusing when trying to explain it, so please try to hang with me. So the study was really trying to figure out, can you maximize strength lifting heavy weights to failure, light weights to failure, or heavy weights stopping shy of failure, or light weights stopping shy of failure. So it had 4 separate conditions. So as I personally read this, I actually was surprised by these results. This study had one big caveat that I believe led to the results being a surprise to me, and that is, it calculated the number of reps being performed by the group to failure and equaled those number of reps in the non-failure group. So what does that mean? Let me give an example of how they accomplished this. So if I was doing a leg extension and I was doing absolute failure, I stopped at 10 reps, and I did this for 3 sets, I would hit a total of 30 reps. But if I was stopping shy of failure and I only went to 6 reps using the same weight, if I did 5 sets of this, I would go to an equal total number of reps of 30. So each group was doing roughly equal number of reps, but the group stopping shy of failure was doing additional sets to equal the amount of volume. So when equaling the number of reps, there is virtually no difference in stopping shy or going to failure, as far as strength gains are concerned. And there was no surprise that the largest strength gains were seen in the groups lifting heavier loads. We discussed that earlier. Is this really a tip? I think it really comes down to your mindset that you use when lifting. If you're dead set on only doing 3 sets and then moving on to something else, then training to failure is probably the most appropriate method for you. But let's say you don't have a spotter or you just simply don't like training to failure every set. Then you can still optimize strength gains, stopping shy of failure, and just mixing in an extra set or two. This tip is really more or less giving you the information and letting you apply it any way you'd like.
Okay, so if strength is your goal, hopefully you have a better understanding on a few strategies you can use to increase your strength at a quicker speed. I hope you guys found this useful. Please check out some of our other videos, and we'll see you next time.